So we got the gas tank reinstalled in the car, got the subframe cleaned up and put back in, so I think our problem with the gas leak is done. However, upon the first start of the car, I noticed some more problems. I've now got an oil leak from the valve covers. What do you know? B5S4 and valve cover leaks. Never heard of her. Got a bunch of oil down here. All that leaking out of the valve cover now. So, gonna pull these off, replace that valve cover, and actually, while I'm in here, I'm gonna pull off some of these parts, prep them, respray them because they're looking kinda raggedy, and I'd like it to look nice for Helen. So let's get this done. So as you can see, I've already pulled out the air box, some of the intake ducting. I'm working on pulling the Y pipe out right now, and then we'll remove the coolant washer bottle, and we should have enough room to get these valve covers off. If you've seen the previous videos I did on this car is relatively factory, meaning that I'm trying to keep the factory throttle body pipes, factory intake. I'm not trying to go too crazy with this car. The biggest thing I did was put an inline fuel pressure gauge and ethanol sensor because the car is tuned on E85 on the stock turbos. That being said, it still has the catalytic converter, just a Borla exhaust. The rest of it is dead stock factory. So let's go ahead, get this stuff pulled out of here, and start addressing these valve covers and get them pulled out. And you know, I thought I had a bad O2 sensor, and I just discovered something. Look at this guy. Right off the N75, giving me a vacuum leak. What the heck? Well, hopefully that fixes it. Always one. Always one. You can see right here. Here you can see where it was leaking past. Didn't have a great seal on that corner. All right, let's see what we got going on in the lab here. We are stripping down these inlet pipes, and these things, they aren't painted. It's actually a rubberized coating. You can kind of see it here. So this stuff, see, it's not painted. It's not sticking to my hands. It is a rubber coating. Didn't find that out until I started to wipe it down and it got sticky. I actually use this stuff, this citrus strip, and it's working pretty well. I've done a couple passes, got most of it off. I'm just getting all the stuff that remains. We should be good to go. Get these primed and painted as well. And then we'll go in the garage and look at what we got going on with these valve covers. Don't mind the mess in here. Yes, the Miata's still blown up. Yes, we have a need for it. Got the driver's side valve cover getting its first coat of primer on it. Letting that dry right now. And then this is our passenger side. We've done about 3 coats of primer on this. I'm gonna let it cure overnight, and then we're gonna go back with the paint on top of it after I sand out any kind of high spots. But I want to give it time to dry so that I'm not smearing around wet paint or messing up the potentially nice finish on it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with the second coat here in a minute, and we'll let this thing sit for another 10 minutes, hit it with the final third primer coat, let these cure overnight, and hopefully by then our inlet pipes will be done and we can bring those in here to paint next. All right, so we've let this stuff sit and cure overnight. The valve covers look pretty good. I was knocking down a couple of spots where there were light runs. I'm not too concerned with the finish. It's not like a paint job on a car. This is just gonna be valve covers, right? So I'm just gonna do a nice enamel coating just to clean up and give them some good color. These are about to get prepped for the final enamel coats. I'm using this Rust-Oleum engine enamel. High temp, supposed to create like a hard shell. And of course, if I had the time, I would send these off to get them powder coated, but I just don't want to spend the money on this right now. So I'm gonna try to DIY it first. If this ends up looking like shit once we're back from Helen, Georgia, maybe I'll send these off to get powder coated. Alright, so we've got our pieces painted here. They're looking pretty solid. I think lastly, I'm going to hit these with some 2K clear just to provide a bit of a hard finish on them to protect from scratches. And I think it'll make them gloss up really, really nice. But yeah, looking forward to this, seeing how it's going to turn out. Right now we're stripping the Y pipe of its wrinkle black finish, and then I'll hit that with a couple coats of primer and do the same. Well, we're gonna call this good. I'm gonna let this sit overnight along with the valve covers and the pipes over there. We're gonna let these sit and we're gonna come back. Normally I would do some 2K clear, but I'm not sure how it stands up to engine heat, so we're doing the engine enamel clear coat. All right, well, here is our kind of finished product. I'm gonna let these dry here outside for the rest of the day just to try to help speed up the curing process. Let them sit in the hot sun for a while. They've already been sitting with the clear coat drying for about 18 hours. So we're gonna give them the rest of today, put them in the sunlight tomorrow to bake even more. And I'm gonna come back with that 2K clear because I just don't like the finish on this. It's still a little bit delicate. I've already scratched off the paint in some of the areas, just barely touching it. And so that 2K clear is gonna help by including a hardener in that final finish to really create a nice protective layer on this paint to make sure they look nice for a long time. So in the meantime, I am going to move back to the car and we're gonna work on some more of the interior. That's right, we're gonna start tackling this interior and we're gonna start with the shifter today. Reason being is because I'm still on the stock ugly shifter in that car. The boot is kind of worn out, it just doesn't look good, and I've had a really nice setup from Sport Shifters that I had on the blue car, but since I did that Cooler Works upgrade, which if you guys watch the channel you would have seen that video a while back, that Sport Shifter setup has just been sitting waiting to go in a car, and it's gonna go in the white one today. All right, so we got our shifter set up here, and this car actually already came equipped with a JHM short throw shifter, which is pretty nice. Certainly better than what the OEM shifter is. This is the one from the blue car, the 2000 S4. So it's an earlier style plastic shifter, and it's also got rubber bushings in these little side pieces here, so they flex a whole bunch, where the JHM one has Delrin. So I think that JHM shifter coupled with my very nice Sport Shifter setup, this should be a pretty nice piece. So let's go ahead and get our boot switched over. So we're gonna have to pull out the factory boot to put this one in its place. This is the Sport Shifter setup. You can see it's engraved with Quattro right there. It's a really nice piece. All right, so we got that installed. It looks great. Eventually I'm gonna swap this out to a black aluminized wrap to match the shifter. But for right now, I don't think it looks too bad. we go. Got our new sport shifter set up. And a plus, matches our steering wheel. Check that out, perforated leather with the black Alcantara. Soon enough, we're gonna have some black door cards in here. And then maybe later down the road, I might just perform some sacrilege and dye these silver Alcantara seats black. Let me know what you think. I think it could look really good. The silver Alcantara, after so many years of use, just gets a little bit too dingy beyond cleaning. And as much time as I put in these to clean them up, they still never look that great. And of course, these door cards are going because of all this. These things are just ruined. So I've got a new set of door cards waiting to go in. We're gonna swap over the aluminum trim. And lastly, we might even try to tackle this headliner. I don't know, it's not too bad yet, but it does bother me. I'm wearing the mask right now, so hopefully you can hear me better, but we've done our first coat on here. Might be kind of hard to see, but the gloss on these is already so much better. And one of the things about the 2K is it's got the hardener in it, and also the gloss you see when you lay it down is how it's gonna look whenever it's done. So we're gonna give this about 10 minutes, let the paint flash, get its initial dry, and then we'll come back and do a second, a little bit heavier coat. All right, so we got the last of the coat on here, got it all dried, and this thing is looking really, really nice. You guys can see that finish on there. I mean, there's still a slight amount of orange peel on the top, but again, we're not after like show car perfection here. We just want to make the under hood of this car look a little decent. And yeah, I think that 2K clear really nailed that finish we were looking for. Okay, well, it is about time to put these valve covers and intakes back on the car. We're gonna go ahead and get our RTV laid down, get the gaskets in place, get everything assembled. I'll let it dry, start the car up, and see if we've got any more leaks. Holy crap, all this paint is lifting. What did I do wrong? Yeah, all this paint is just completely lifting off of here. All of it is. None of it stuck. This looks okay, but if you get up close, you can definitely see it, so I don't know. I'm sure at some point all of this paint's probably gonna lift off. I guess I'm just gonna have them powder coated. I don't even know. So, yeah. I wasted about a week of my time painting these valve covers. Hopefully the inlet pipes and the Y pipe itself are okay, but the valve covers are trash. Yeah, immediately, as soon as the bolt started to tighten down, the paint lifted up. What I thought was dry paint apparently wasn't. It didn't adhere to the primer at all. I tried to scuff it up. I used the prep spray. I wiped stuff down. I used the tack cloth. Tried to do my best, and well, there you go. Now I know how not to do it. So I think once this trip down to Helen is over, I'll probably take these valve covers back off and have them sent out for powder coating and just have it done right the first time. Yep. So much for that, guys. Let's see how the Y pipe looks, I guess. Well, it certainly looks better than it did. I'm not fully impressed with my work, especially on the valve covers, but I think we did okay given with what we were working with. However, my recommendation, don't even bother with trying to paint this stuff. Just drop it off and have it powder coated like I should have done in the first place. By the time I spent the money to repaint this, I'd probably be in like 120 bucks on paint and supplies. You could probably get these powder coated for that much, so let the professionals do it. Don't listen to idiots like me.